Hi, English 10, Miss Long here. Welcome back from spring break. I hope your week off was a chance to be with friends and relax and get some R&R that maybe we don't get during our school year routine. The remainder of our year is really going to fly by. I think that every year, and every year it does. It's kind of like those 2 months before Christmas. So brace yourself. We've got 2 more units to do. Content is half over, half left. I don't know whether you want to be a glass half empty, half full person, but if you are looking to catch up, that means you have 2 units to do that with. So here's what we're doing in this one. Unit 7 is on the play, The Raisin and Sun, and in this first session we're going to dive into reading that play. So let me walk you through this particular session. I want to point out some changes in work ethic. I was doing it so that you had to do the calendar or the schedule for yourself every single session for an entire unit, and I decided to try it just week by week instead, so that you can make a schedule for that week, and if you do, you get 3% of the extra credit points just for making the schedule. So I will throw that out to you as a week-by-week option, and also mention that I came up with another way to really help you develop those work ethic skills without necessarily planning in advance. One of the things that successful dieters do is begin with a food journal where they write down exactly what they ate and what times, and they really get to see which places or times of day are temptations. Well, in a similar way, another option for you with this work ethic bonus is to write down how you're actually using your time, and then at the end of the week, go back and reflect on that and submit a reflection. Because you may find that there are certain times or places that just suck your time out of your week, and then you don't have enough time to get things done. So I will throw that out as the first thing in this new unit and new session. Our unit is really about dreams. What dreams mean to our lives, and a dream deferred, which is the poem that the Raisin and the Sun comes from. So I want you to think about dreams in our lives, and this definitely connects to the Steinbeck books that you read, because most of the characters in your book had some kind of dream that probably wasn't fulfilled, depending on the character you're looking at. But major ideas, Grapes of Wrath, they get out to California, and it's not the promised land, and Mice and Men, George and Lenny have that dream that keeps them going, but they never actually realize it. And Kino, of course, dreams all kinds of things with the pearl, but he never actually realizes it. So we're going to connect with that by thinking about your life in your journal this week. Think about either a dream that you've achieved and how it's affected you, or a dream that has been unfulfilled and how that's impacted you, or a dream that you have for the future and what plans you're making to make that happen. That's this week's journal, kind of a get your brain warmed up for what we're going to be reading. And from there we look at the American dream, kind of the aggregate. You have your individual dreams, but there's this general archetypal American dream that many people say is disappearing. So our next activity for this session is to have some discussion on that American dream. Is it still possible? What do you believe about it based on the information that I've given you in several videos and the news that you read every day? Then we will dig into our play. And this is A Raisin in the Sun. You do not need to get a physical copy. You're welcome to get a physical copy, but you can use this online copy right here. Also, if you just Google Raisin in the Sun PDF, something will pop right up. There are plenty of English teachers that have it on their sites. So no problem getting there. You also have a recording, and a couple recording choices here. This one is a little bit more dramatic, for drama, than the second one. But I would highly recommend that you use a recording because it's going to help you with some of the dialect, and it's going to help you with the understanding of the tone of the conversation. I would highly encourage you to look at this background video produced by another teacher, but very useful for you with information about the characters and the setting. This is a contemporary play. It takes place in the 1950s in Chicago with a black family that is trying to improve their lives, has a dream of achieving a house and the American dream. A little harder when you're black in the 1950s in Chicago. And the characters that are introduced are all part of one big family with a few outsiders that join them. And they will be exploring exactly what that means. Everyone basically has a dream of their own, and when the senior matriarch of the family gets a lot of money from her late husband's death, $10,000, everyone has to decide what to do with that money. So it unfolds from there. Now, as you read the play, you'll be keeping a reader's response journal, like a dialectical journal, and there's a template linked here, or it's at the bottom of the page, And you're going to find 8 to 10 quotes for each of the sessions, each of the acts in the play. So you'll end up with about 24 to 30 quotes by the end, and that will be very useful because our unit goal is to be writing a theme essay. How is the theme of this play developed? So you'll need some of those quotes, and it also shows me what you're getting out of the character relationships and the perspectives that are there, because we have a number of characters with very different perspectives. So that will get you reading. Then after you've done reading, you finish the first act of this, we will move into contemplate the conflicts. And this is your chance to think about internal conflicts, external conflicts, person versus himself, person versus others, person versus society, person versus nature, person versus supernatural, person versus destiny, so to speak. And you'll write a response on what you think is the biggest conflict so far in the play. And that will more or less wrap us up. And then we'll continue on into April with sessions 2, 3, and 4. Session 2 will be Act 2. You're welcome to jump ahead with the dialectical journal and do that. And session 3 will wrap up the play. And then in session 4, we will be doing a theme essay. So that's where we're headed. Message me with any questions, and you have a good week.